US President Joe Biden's Pacific trip is in doubt as the country's debt crisis worsens, and there are now suggestions Kamala Harris, the Vice President, could attend in his place. Joining me live is Sky News US contributor Michael Ware. Good to see you again, Michael. So debt ceiling negotiations are potentially going to derail the US President Joe Biden's plans to attend the G7 in Japan and the Quad leaders meeting in Sydney. Kamala Harris potentially coming. There's just reports on that. But there are also reports of financial Armageddon if they can't strike a deal on the debt ceiling. We have been here before, but in your opinion, is there anything different about this time?
What's different is, well, certainly the Republican House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, his future, his position hangs on these negotiations. Remember, he had to go through, 15 torturous ballots amongst the members of his own party to become Speaker. And key to the conditions of the hardcore holdouts, the MAGA holdouts, were conditions based upon limiting this debt ceiling. Now, look, this whole debt ceiling mechanism that the United States uses is a known goal. I mean, it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There's only 3 countries on the planet that use it. One is Denmark and one is Kenya. And Kenya is thinking of ceasing use of a debt ceiling, because what it requires is every so often when you reach the limit of your national debt and borrowings, the Treasury Department has to go back to Congress to ask to raise that ceiling. Now, in Australia, for example, we don't have to do that. If the government sets a budget and it wants to make borrowings, it does that. Here in America, they have this hangover mechanism. It comes from leading into World War I and World War II, where Congress wasn't sure how much it was going to cost, so they unleashed the Treasury Department a bit. But what it does is it allows minorities in Congress to hold the entire government hostage, because we can face a government shutdown, which means suddenly on June 1, you can't pay postal workers, soldiers, sailors, airmen and women. You can't pay anyone at the Department of Motor Vehicles or anything else. But it also will reverberate across the world, because you can no longer count on America paying its debts. Yeah. And that has an obvious knock-on effect globally. So, look, is this any different? We saw this happen in 2011 with the rise of the Tea Party when they arrived, that faction arrived in Congress. We're seeing it with the MAGAs. Kevin McCarthy, the leader of the Republican Party in the House, has sworn that, we will not default. But right now, I don't see either side giving in, neither the White House nor the hardcore MAGA-ists on Kevin McCarthy's right.
Well, let's hope that they can sort that out.